Yes, better. Now, let me continue with that. So yesterday we were doing, and then the period finished, and that blastula that gets converted into the gastrula. And I hope that it was not much clear to you. I thought so because you could not give me the answer. Okay. So let me do it a little bit first that how the gastrula is formed. And then afterwards, I told you that after the formation of the gastrula, then the three germinal layers are formed. And those three germinal layers, they give rise to the different organs. So cell differentiation takes place and the cell movements takes place. As a result of that, the different organs of the fetus are formed. Okay. And also I told you that when the different organs are formed, in the first month, rudimentary heart is formed. Okay. And in the second month, then the rudimentary eyes they develop, and the limbs also they develop. And third month, almost a whole of a very small little miniature is formed. Fetus is formed in the third month. Okay. Then after that, the development takes place, and in the fifth month, the movements are noticed, and also the hairs appear on the body of the fetus. And then in the 6 months, the fully developed miniature, like all the organ systems, they are developed, and that is formed. Then further, the growth of that takes place. Almost the whole of the development takes place up to 6 months. Okay. And this was when the fetus is formed from the three germinal layers. So just first, let me recall that how these three germinal layers are formed. Okay. How the gastrula is formed and germinal layers, right? And today, beta, if the period finishes, we have to complete it. And I think that this is your last period, no? Fourth period. Yes, Tushar, this is last period, beta.
No, ma'am.
You have the fifth period too.
Yes, ma'am. Fourth period is the last period.
No. This is the fourth. Sorry. This is second period now. Okay. So anyhow, so let me do the things. So in the up to blastula we have done. In the blastula, I told you that trophoblast is there and the embryonic knob is there. Okay? Embryonic knob. Now this is just. Now, what happens further that the growth of the blastula takes place. This is the outermost layer, the trophoblast is there, right? And then the embryonic knob that get stretched up, okay? Stretched up means that otherwise the cells, they were in the form of the group like this. The cells, they stretched up and there is a one layer of cells below and like this. In this way, the cell come into position, okay? So it is further after when the blastula grows in size. Blastula is formed up to 7th day, okay? 7th day पे blastula form हो गया. उसके बाद क्या हुआ? Embryonic knob is stretched. Then further, I told you that blastula is to be converted into gastrula. Gastrula. How gastrula is formed? Gastrula means that now the cavity is also there within that, but that cavity will be lined by endodermis, right? Otherwise, this cavity in the blastula, this cavity is lined by what are these cells? What are these cells? Yes,
Trophoblast.
Yes.
Trophoblast.
Very good. Trophoblast. Okay. Now, what happens that from this embryonic disc, this is embryonic disc, right? So further, what will happen that after stretching, then again it becomes big in size, and then a cavity will develop over here. This is the development of the cavity, right? Ye dekho. So these are the cells or gap आ गया between trophoblast cells and between these cells of the embryonic disc, the gap has come. Okay. Now this embryonic disc, that will, the cells, they will get arranged. The movement of the cells takes place. The lowermost layer of the cells. Okay. The lowermost layer of the cell that start proliferating inner to trophoblast. This is the trophoblast.
Inner to that, it starts proliferating from both the ends like this, in this way, right? And in the upper cavity too here. So I mark this. This is the layer of the cell. It's formed. Whole of it's lined by that cell. Similarly, that over here too, the cells will be lining in this cavity too, right? This is a cavity. This is a cavity. This is known as amniotic cavity. Amniotic cavity, right? And it is the embryonic disc, the lowermost layer that lines the trophoblast. That was the trophoblast. Now this layer which lines the trophoblast, the movement of the cells from the embryonic disc has taken place. This is known as endodermis. Endodermis. Clear? What is endodermis? So this is endodermis. Now, whole of this structure is now known as gastrula. This is known as gastrula. Now this cavity, earlier, this cavity was known as blastocele. Now this is known as gastrocele. This is known as gastrocele. It is the gastrocele, right? Followed? Or it's also known as the primary yolk sac. Primary yolk sac or gastrocele. So whole of this structure is gastrula. Now, some of the cells, they have proliferated inside, and these are known as the endodermal cells. Still, group of cells is there. So if I let you know that how because there are three germinal layers, endodermis, mesodermis, and ectoderm, okay? First of all, endodermis is formed. First of all, this is formed. Now, how the mesoderm is formed, let I tell you that. Just, I hope, now it's clear. Suppose, just for your, to make you the things clear, suppose this is the embryonic disc, right? This is the caudal end of that. And then there were the cells lying over here. These cells, they proliferated, and that gave rise to endodermis. Endodermis, that is formed, right? This is the caudal end. From the caudal end, what is there outside this? This was trophoblast. What is this? This is the trophoblast. Ye trophoblast hai, right? The cells from the cephalic caudal end, sorry, caudal, caudal means the tail end of the embryonic disc. Embryonic disc, cell from that, they will proliferate between the endodermis and the trophoblast. This is, they will proliferate between that. Now this, what we have, what I have shaded, what is this? This is known as mesoderm. What is this? Mesoderm. This is mesoderm, this is endoderm, and rest of the cells which remain over here after the proliferation of the cell between the trophoblast and the endodermis, these cells are known as ectoderm. These are known as ectoderm. Now let me know first. The things are clear. What is ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm? Yes, Tushar?
Yes, ma'am.
Clear hai beta?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Anyway. So already I've told you then what is the fate of this ectoderm, mesoderm, and the endoderm? And ultimately, which is not beyond your scope, actually what happens later on that, and you know that we have the coelomate organism, the human being. The coelom will develop between the mesoderm then, right? The coelom will develop, a cavity will develop over here. A cavity will be developed. What that cavity will be known as? That cavity will be known as coelom. Clear? So if cavity develops over here later on, that will be the coelom, right? Now, what is the fate of ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm? Already I have told you that from the ectoderm, the outermost parts of the organs, they are formed, and also the internal ear is formed from the eyes, cornea, lens, all these are formed from the ectoderm, and the mesoderm forms the muscles, okay? Muscles are formed from the mesoderm, bones are formed from the mesoderm, and the middle layer of a dermis, of the skin is also from the mesoderm. Okay, the endoderm, from the endoderm, most of the glands they are formed, right? Glands are formed, and intestinal glands, then the gastric gland and the endocrine glands, they are formed from that. Okay, and from the mesoderm, the circulatory system as well as that lymphatic system, that is formed from the mesoderm. Okay, so all these things are written in your book too. So you have to go through in detail about your book. Okay, so that is the fate of this. Okay, so ultimately what happens that after this formation of gastrula, then the development of the mesoderm, endoderm, so all these changes, they are taking place inside the uterus. Let me share one diagram with you, and then we'll see that what happens afterwards. So I'm going to share one diagram with you. So just a minute. Uh, yes. बेटा एक मिनट देखना, ये शेयरिंग नहीं हो रही. किसको मिनिमाइज कर? कहाँ? क्या? Yes, बेटा. So this is is that visible to you? Yes, beta?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. So see that this is just a recalling of the different stages. This is the ovum, then the sperm enter into over here, then the zygote is formed, and then zygote gets converted into the 2-cell stage after 30 hours. So yesterday we discussed that. Then 4-cell stage is there. Then ultimately the morula is formed, and this morula still is having the zona pellucida around it. Okay. Then when the fertilization takes place, that's taking place in the oviducts over here. See that over here, the sperms and the eggs, they travel through that, the oviducts, ampulla isthmus junction over here, this fertilization takes place. And after the fertilization, then again, because the ovum is coming from this side, so you can see the arrow, the sperm is coming from this side through the uterus. So this is the junction where they meet, and this zygote is formed. And afterward that, then the cleavage starts. And what is this cleavage? 2-celled, 4-celled, 8-cell structure. And then this developmental stages, they come back again into the uterus. And this blastocyst, which is formed near about the 7th day, then it gets implanted inside the uterus. This is the implantation of that. So this is the blastula, blastocele, 7 days, then it will be getting implanted over here. So these cells of Robert and embryonic knob, where the embryonic cells are present. And this is the ex-embryonic end where the embryonic knob is not there. Okay. Then afterward this, it will get converted into morula. And then I told you the whole of the details. After the morula, what is the stage? Sorry. Morula ke baad, morula was earlier, and then the blastula was there. After the blastula, what was the stage? Gastrula. Okay, gastrula ke baad, then ultimately, then those germinal layers are formed and all that. And ultimately, then what happens that how the fully developed fetus can be reviewed in the uterus. Let me share another diagram with you to give you the details. Okay, so just wait for 2 minutes. दूसरी. Yes. Is the thing clear? Diagram is clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, beta. Now, ultimately, what happens that the outermost layer of the gastrula, what was that? That was a trophoblast. Okay. So, what happens? The trophoblast. I told you that from the embryonic node, the fetus will be formed as well as the extra embryonic layers will be formed. Now, what are extra embryonic layers? These are the layers which give protection to the embryo. Okay. Then the outermost layer, that was the trophoblast. The trophoblast, on the trophoblast, finger-like projections will appear. Okay. And those finger-like projections, they are known as villi. This trophoblast is to be converted into chorion. Okay? Chorion along with, this is one of the embryonic layer along with the mesoderm. So these are finger-like processes. You can see all around that finger-like processes, they will appear. These are known as a villi, right? Uterine wall also get surrounded to these villi, right? And whole of this structure which is formed as a result of this villi and the depressions of the or surrounding up of the uterine wall, those are known as a crypts. So this whole of this structure, this is known as a placenta. Placenta is formed. Okay, so this is placenta. Placenta is an organ of respiration. It's an organ of endocrine. You have studied in the 10th also. It is an organ of digestion too, organ of excretion too, because through that the waste of the developing fetus will be given out. The oxygen, because it is highly vascularized, means that richly supplied with the blood. So from the blood of the mother, the oxygen will be coming, that will be supplied to the fetus. So that's why organ of respiration. Excretion, respiration, and organ of digestion too. The nutrients from the mother's blood, they are to be supplied to that. So this is the organ of nutrition too. Okay. Then endocrine organ, it's also acting as an endocrine organ because placenta is developing the hormones. One is the progesterone hormone. Another is the human chorionic gonadotropin hormone. Okay. And the third hormone, that is the human placenta lactogen. The three hormones are to be secreted by this. So that is why this is known as organ of respiration, digestion, excretion, and endocrine organ. And generally this question is asked in the board. Okay, why it is so called, right? So the first thing is clear to you. I just repeat you that there are the 4 layers, embryonic layers. What are those 4 layers? One is chorion. Is this clear to you, Blackboard? Chorion, then amnion, and the third, that is the allantois, and another, the 4th layer, that is the yolk sac, secondary yolk sac, right? These 3 layers are there, right? Chorion, that is outside the fetus. Amnion is surrounding the fetus. Amnion is rather forming a bag-like structure, which is giving protection. So I let you know in the diagram just now. Then allantois and the yolk sac, both they are not giving protection, but these are meant for production of the RBCs. Okay. Amnion and chorions, they are giving the protection. These give the protection, right? This chorion and amnion, these are both of these are formed of, both these are formed from the mesoderm plus trophoblast, right? Allantois and the yolk sac. These are formed from mesoderm plus endoderm. Endoderm. I told you that there are the three germinals, ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm, right? So these are formed. Clear? Now this amnion, it's in the form of a bag-like structure around the fetus, and this is filled with a fluid that is known as amniotic fluid. So this fetus is this is dipped in this fluid. Okay, this fluid is acting as a shock absorbent. It's giving protection to the fetus. It's giving the, and this is also having the fetal cells in that, and that is why if the analysis of that is to be done, then we come to know about the sex of child too. And that technique of knowing the sex of child by studying the cells which are suspended in the amniotic fluid, that is known as amniocentesis, right? So, and you might be knowing that in each and every hospital outside a board is displayed and there is written that यहाँ पे sex determination नहीं किया जाता, ठीक है? So this is the technique. The fluid is to be taken up through the syringe, and then the sex of the child is to be made known. And if that is the girl, female, then it's getting aborted. Okay, so in order to prevent this, so the hospitals, they're given this instruction that they are not supposed to do so, right? Okay, so now again come to the diagram. So look at that. So see that this is the chorion now. It's also forming the placenta. That's why this is known as human chorionic placenta, because chorion is taking part in the formation of that. And generally this is also a question in the board exam, why it's so called, right? So this is, now see that, this one, this layer is known as amnion. This is amnion, okay, trophoblast and mesoderm. Then is the third embryon, this is yolk sac. This is yolk sac, endoderm and mesoderm ka form hua hai. Then this is, this one, this originate from here, allantois, endoderm and mesoderm, okay? So, this is how that inside the uterus, development of the fetus takes place, right? When the uterus, when the fetus is fully developed, then what happens that? Then a fetus rejection stimulus originates, and that stimulus is itself from the development of the fetus. For 9 months, the fetus is to develop inside the uterus of the mother, okay? And that is known as the gestation period. After this gestation period, when the fetus is fully developed, then the nature will do its job. What is that job? That its ejection is to be done, and when this fetus is fully developed, then it will give a stimulus to the uterus, and the uterine wall, they start contracting. Okay? When the uterine wall will contract, then the oxytocin will be released from the brain. That will be released from that. Then this oxytocin further will make the contraction more severe, right? So uterine contraction become more severe and severe, and what will happen that this fetus will be pulled down through this birth canal. It is to be given birth, and that process of giving birth to the fetus, that is known as parturition. I write over here. Parturition, right? Parturition, the delivery of the child means that is to be done in different stages. Okay? So that stage that includes the contraction of the uterus. Okay, so uterus that will be contracted. So dilation state will be there first, expulsion, and the placental stage. Dilation first, dilation. I let you know clear all the thing. Dilation, expulsion, expulsion stage, and the third stage that will be the placental stage. Placental stage. Now, what are these three stages of the delivery? Dilation, the cervix will dilate, the muscles will relax, and that will take near about 12 hours for the relaxation of the muscles. Okay, otherwise the cervical muscles are very strong, and these muscles, they are contracted, and before the delivery of the child, they get relaxed. So this is known as the dilation stage. After the dilation is expulsion. Expulsion of what? Expulsion of fetus. That will take place. And expulsion of fetus, that takes 20 to near about 20 minutes. Okay? So severe contractions of the fetus are there, uterus are there, under the control of the oxytocin hormone, which is released from the pituitary gland. So those will expel the uterus through the birth canal, through the vagina to the outer world. That's known as delivery of the child. Okay, so that is the expulsion stage. Third stage, placental stage. Now, when the baby is out from the uterus of the mother, then afterwards, some of the things which are related to that. What are those things? Embryonic membranes are there, placenta is there. Placenta is a disc-like structure. This is a very, and this is near about 2 kg in weight, right? So this, that one, that is to be also given out because it's no more used to the mother now. So it's to be given out. That stage is known as placental stage. So further, after the delivery expulsion, then near about between 10 to 15 minutes of the time after the expulsion of the baby, whole of the embryonic layers, they will also come out from the vagina, and that stage is known as the placental stage. So these are raw, this is all in detail about the parturition. So we have done the development of the young one, and also we have done the parturition process, how the embryonic layers are formed, how the starting from the zygote, then from the zygote, how the blastula that is, gastrula that is formed, and ultimately this placenta formation and development of the child, which then is ultimately given birth. Okay, so this is all about. Now what we are left with, we are left with one more thing, that is the menstruation. Okay, so let me do this menstruation again. I will share one diagram with you, and in 11.2 you are knowing about the role of the hormones for that. So I'm going to share that picture first. Right. No. Yes. Is the diagram clear to you? Clear, hai beta?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So what is this? This is a diagram of your NCRT book. The diagram shows the whole of the process of the menstruation. Now, what is this menstruation? This is the cyclic events, which starts from the menstrual flow, and then after 28 days, many of the events are completed. Then again, there is an menstruation. So this is, see that this is the menstruation phase. Then this is also menstruation phase. Okay. Now, this is the cyclic events which takes place in the females, and that takes place between 9 days. That takes the duration of 29 days. And to be divided into number of phases. What are those phases? First, let I tell you. Then we'll see that how they occur. First phase, that is the menstruation. 1 to 4 days that occurs. See this. This is 1 to 4 days. This is the 5th day, 7th day, 9th day. In between, this is the 8th day. So this is 4 or 5th to 13 days phase is the follicular phase. Or this phase is also known as a proliferative phase. I let you know that why it is so called. Okay. Then 14th day, 14th day ovulation takes place. Ovulation means release of the ovum takes place, right? Then after that, 14 to this 15 to this you can say that 27 days, 28 days. Luteal phase is there. Luteal phase is also known as a secretory phase. I'll let you know why it's so called. Okay. Then again, the same repetition of the process, that is the menstruation. All these three processes rather, menstruation, follicular phase and the luteal phase, they come one after the other in rotation under the control of the hormones. Now, what are the hormones which are playing their part? See that there are two major hormones, gonadotropin hormones, follicle stimulating hormone and LH hormone. What is LH? Yes? Who will tell me?
Luteinizing hormone.
Very good. Luteinizing hormone. Okay. Luteinizing hormone. So secreted by the pituitary gland. Pituitary hormones will act upon the ovaries, right? And ovarian events will take place. We have also done during the oogenesis too. So this is the ovarian events. I'll let you know how that will be there. Then ovarian events release or ovary release hormones. What are those? Estrogen and progesterone. Okay. Then under the control of this estrogen and progesterone, certain changes takes place in the uterus. So this is uterine events. Here is marked uterine events. So uterine events take place. What are those uterine events? Menstruation, follicular phase, luteal phase, and then again the menstruation phase. All these are the uterine events. Okay. Now let me start with that. Why the menstruation starts? Okay. Menstruation starts when the LH hormone level of that is very low. When the LH is low, then what will happen that the corpus luteum that will degenerate. I know you know that ovarian follicles are there. Ovarian follicles, when the ovulation takes place, the follicular cells, they get converted into progesterone. Corpus luteum. That is also known as yellow body. And further degeneration of the corpus luteum takes place, and that forms the white body, or this is also known as corpus luteum and corpus ablicum. Ablicum will be formed. That is known as the white body. Okay. So because when there is no more fertilization of the egg, the corpus luteum will be converted into the white body, and production of the progesterone will stop. And progesterone maintains the lining of the uterus, right? So when the progesterone will be less, then the lining of the uterus will be slaughtered, and then it will be given out along with the flow of the blood through the vagina. And that phase is known as the menstruation phase. Is that clear? Say yes or no.
Yeah? Yes, ma'am.
Good, good. So once again, I repeat that. LH hormone is low, corpus luteum degenerate, and the progesterone level will decrease, and the endometrium will be slaughtered off, and menstruation starts. Clear? Now the second phase, that is the follicular phase. So after the menstruation, now there is one more hormone, FSH. FSH hormone that will also low. Then at the time of the birth, various ovarian follicles are there. They get developed. More and more follicular cells are laid. See that primary follicle, secondary follicle, tertiary follicle. And what is the function of those follicular cells? They secrete the hormone estrogen, right? So estrogen level will increase when the follicle stimulating hormone will increase. See this is the level is increasing, right? And here the LH level is also increased. LH surge means when maximum LH is there, then the ovulation takes place. Now here the FSH is also maximum. It increases slowly because the ovarian follicles are developing, and then because ovarian follicles, they are forming the estrogen. So level of the estrogen also increases. Clear? Level of estrogen increases. So under the, see that instruction, or we can say that under the influence of the estrogen, the follicular, the proliferation of the uterus membrane will take place. So that is why this follicular phase, where the follicles cells are laid down, developing follicles are there, this is also known as proliferative phase. Because why proliferative phase? Because here proliferation of the uterus lining will take place. The thickening up of the uterus lining will take place. So generally it is there in the exam. Why follicular phase is so called? Why follicular phase is known as a proliferative phase 2? Okay, so because the uterus lining that proliferates, that becomes thickened, right? Now, when the ovulation takes place, then these follicles, then they will degenerate, and the corpus luteum will secrete the progesterone. And see that here the progesterone level was low. Now in this phase, secretory phase, or in the luteal phase, why it's so called luteal phase? Because corpus luteum is formed over here. That's why luteal phase. Why secretory phase? Because here the lining of the uterus, endometrium, that will secrete certain secretions, right? And those secretions will, hence after the reason for that, the secretions are done by the wall of the uterus. It's known as secretory phase 2, right? So luteal phase is also known as secretory phase. It is, why it is so called? Because the corpus luteum will be forming the progesterone, and progesterone will maintain the lining of the uterus, and further this is very healthy lining now. And then ultimately what happens when progesterone has increased over here, okay? And when no fertilization takes place, तो क्या होगा? Corpus luteum will degenerate, start degenerating. Now this is the degenerating corpus luteum. This is still further degeneration of the corpus luteum. Corpus albicans is formed, white body is formed, okay? And this white body will no more be secreting the progesterone.